Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel, Italy, a place to love. So, today I want to talk about properties. I want to go back to the topic of properties and in particular cheap properties here in the south of Italy. I have read many comments about this, and there are a lot of things to say about investing in a cheap property in the south of Italy. But at the moment, don't let me say cheap, just to invest in a property in Italy. I want to start from a comment, but there were many comments under the videos that I've done recently that actually attract me, but at the moment I decide to start from one and then I will go through this topic while I'm talking. Now, thank you, you say thank you. Are you saying that there is potential for property prices to reduce in Calabria? So this comment was referring about Calabria. Calabria is a region, one of the regions of the south of Italy, which is good to buy, but then to lose value once bought the property. Okay, I want to start from this because for me this is a very good point. Okay, let's start from my experience. I bought a property here in the south of Italy, and I bought in this town called Montemilone. You probably heard many times from me, but anyway, this is the main topic of the channel, relocating to the south of Italy. And I will always be stick to this topic because it's important for me to talk about this place, to show the beauties. Anyway, it's all around this topic. It's all about around this topic, buying a house in the south of Italy. So this person here who wrote this comment here, it's saying, let me say, I'm gonna buy a cheap house in Calabria nowadays because, for example, I love Calabria, and I was tempted to buy. There was a town where I was tempted to buy in Calabria, in the northern part of Calabria, on the Ionic Sea, on the coast, on the Ionic coast, because Calabria has two seas, the Ionic Sea and the Tyrrhenian Sea. On the Ionic, close to the border with Basilicata, and I found a very cheap property, so I was interested. Then in the end I didn't go for it because it was a bit more hassle. I never been many times to Calabria, so I should investigate more the territory, because I repeat, it's always very important to investigate properly the territory where you are going to buy the property. Go back to the comment. So he's saying, I'm gonna buy a cheap property in Calabria. Now, cheap property for me means a property that goes from 5,000 euro, no less, okay, up to 40,000 euro, in this, between this range, 5,000 and 40,000. Then you might ask straight away, oh, but what can you buy with 5,000 euro? For sure, it's possible to buy something at certain kind of conditions. For sure, if I'm gonna buy something for 5,000 euro, I have to do a bit more than just a little renovation. I have to invest some money. Potentially, I could invest maybe once I spend 5,000 euro, I might spend, let me say, another 30, 40. The goal has to be always to be in between 30 and 40,000 for a cheap property in the south of Italy, according to my experience as a buyer. Anyway, I bought several houses in the last 20 years, apartments, houses. So when I do an investment, I always I always have to make a gain, basically. I don't like to buy property when I know that I'm gonna lose, but this is another topic, okay? How to invest according to me into a property, but then there are all the needs, personal needs, so then we have to go into the details. We are not all the same. Nobody can take Antonio's life and take his life as mine. So we all have different needs. We all, again, this is a huge, massive topic. We are into this house in Calabria. I spend, for example, I'm gonna spend 30,000 euro. That can be an average. And I'm talking about a village very close to the sea. I'm talking about a place, for example, there was another comment today of a person who lived in Scalea. Scalea is a beautiful town in Calabria, beautiful. In the summer is extremely beautiful. And I agree with these comments where she suffered a bit during the winter times, because during the winter the place gets colder, it gets emptier, the people, all the booze that you had in the summer, it's gone. So basically you find yourself kind of living alone just with the community, but then if you don't have the language, so that is another big topic. I think I'm gonna rewatch this video several times because I'm touching so many important topics, but in the life of this channel I'm gonna cover many times this topic, as I said. Let's go back to Calabria. The point that this person wrote in the comment is, so I'm buying a property, can this property lose more value? His connection about losing value is related with the topic of the previous video, where I was saying that people are leaving the south of Italy. So now, if I'm a buyer, obviously, if I know that people are leaving this place, for sure the houses are going to lose the value in this place. And I agree 100% with this comment. So it's a normal fear. I mean, if I'm going to invest some money, I don't want to lose this money. So potentially, if the place is depopulating, of course I'm going to lose money. But here is my but, and I don't want to go against the comment because it's a normal thought. Anyway, everyone should think like this. My point of view as a person who came here in the south of Italy and invested a little amount of money, I start from this. The main thing is that a cheap property can't lose more than it is now. Why I'm saying this? For example, okay, if I'm gonna, we all know the house market, and the house market, if I'm gonna buy in Rome or in Milan, we are talking about 200, 300, 400, half million. So we are talking about huge money. But if I'm going to spend 20,000 euro or 30,000 euro, believe me, the price hardly would go lower than this. This is my bet. Now, I spent 26,000, I put on top 5,000 between solicitor and a bit of renovation, 3,000 euro of renovation. I spent 31,000 in total. I'm sure, by what I see around me, that hardly this house is gonna lose value. Then let me say that there's gonna be a decrease. Now let me say that things are going so bad that even here that I bought such a cheap house, I'm gonna face a decrease of the properties. So basically from 31,000, how much I can drop? 25, 20,000. Now, if I'm losing 10,000 euro, let's give you this calculation. So I'm doing an investment. Generally, when I invest money in properties, I always want to gain in 5 years' time. That's my minimum range, has to be 5 years' time. I'm not expecting to double the price of the house or the apartment in 1 year. Shocking. You can't even think about this. If you're investing in properties, think about minimum 5 years, then you can see your, you might be able to see your profit. And it's not written anywhere that you're gonna see the profit. Now, it's not because it went well once, twice, 3 times, it's gonna go well the 4th time. So let's be specific. that obviously it's always a risk. Now, I spend 30,000 euro. I lose 10,000 euro. 10,000 euro of this property is 33%. So I'm losing 33% of the value, that is 10,000 euro. Wow, 33% on a house, on a property, is a huge loss. It's a huge loss. And, for example, I go now and I buy in Milan. Oh, I want to live in Milan. I know I can find a very good job. I love the city. Milan has a beautiful nightlife. Now, I'm not familiar with Milan nightlife, but I'm just saying, just to say, uh, plenty of cool places, fancy clubs, beautiful shops, via Montemilone, and so on. I can keep talking about this, about Milan. So in Milan you have everything. There is a stadium. I'm a football fan. I go to the stadium. Okay, all these things you find in the city. But if I'm gonna spend 300,000 euro for an apartment in Milan. Now, an average apartment in Milan, it costs around 300,000 euro. And I don't want to mention other capital cities in Europe where the price is even higher than 300,000. I know cities in Europe, in Northern Europe, where where cheap houses are a half million. So I'm not talking, because obviously in Milan I can spend more, but let's say that I'm gonna spend 300,000 euro in Milan. Pause. And the market is gonna lose 33%. If the market is gonna lose 33% on top of my investment, how much I'm gonna lose? So if it loses 33%, my property from 300,000 euro dropped to 200,000. And now connect the two things that I said. I bought in Montemilone, I spent 30,000 euro. I lose 33%, and the value of my property is 20,000 euro. That to be honest, for me, it will never happen. Not even if we're gonna have a 50% crash house market here, I'm gonna lose 10,000 euro. I'm sure of it, because obviously if there's gonna be a crash market, such a big crash market, for example, as many people are forecasting, okay? Because I remember very well the 2008 bubble, and at that time I was living in Ireland. So, and there I can talk per hours about what I witnessed in Ireland with the 2008 crisis. Something that in Italy no one ever witnessed. Yes, they saw a little decline. But I spent 30,000 euro. I lose 33%. The value of my property is 20,000. And I lose 10,000 euro. If I'm going to invest 300,000, I'm gonna lose, and the market crashed 33%, I'm gonna lose 100,000 euro. Then, do we want to talk about that if I'm buying a property for 30,000 euro, I might be able to pay cash, for example? Maybe yes, maybe no. I'd say that a lot of people have 30,000 euro savings. I'd say a lot. A lot of people that I know have this money saved. Now, I'm not saying that these people have to invest their money in this way, but can be a way, just another way to not keep my money in the bank. Then there is the topic about, okay, how much it's gonna cost me to maintain this property, is a second home, taxation, whatever. This is another video. So if I had bought an apartment in Milan, 300,000 euro, I'm talking about average, I'm not going very low, I'm not going very high, 300,000. Probably 99% of the people who are buying a house for 300,000 are buying with a mortgage. Is clear, no? I mean, 99%, I hope you agree with me about this. I'd say you all agree, because there are people who have 300,000 euro money in savings. Why not? Hands up, give respect, let me say. They all have my respect if they have these savings, if they have this money. perfect. But then if I buy with a mortgage and the property value, the value of the property crashed 33%, I'm still pay and the value dropped to 200,000 euro. I'm still paying the mortgage for 300,000. It's not like, okay, Antonio, your mortgage dropped because, oh no, this is not gonna happen. So always keep the eyes very, very open. Again, then it's important to discuss about what people needs are, because if I don't have children, for example, for me life is much easier from this point of view. I don't have to care about the schools, to have very good education for my children, for example. This, but it's a personal thing. I repeat, people who have children, obviously they're more focused on the future of their children as well. So it's a huge, huge topic, but I go back to the fact that for me here, a house that cost 30,000 euro or even 40, I don't see the price, I don't foresee the price dropping that much, even if there's gonna be a market crash. Why? Because historically, the prices, let me say, each time badly, they drop badly. Generally, in the small towns, prices were dropping always less than in the big cities. Then I can also open the topic about this uncertainty, the uncertain times that we are living. So, is it convenient to live in the city? Again, this is one of my sensitive topic, because, for example, in the city, I start losing that kind of safety feeling. I always said to myself, okay, but if something is going to happen now, what happened in the last 4 years, I have to be realistic and say, okay, what happened in the last 4 years, nearly 5? We went through, I don't want to talk about the topics we went through, because I think you should be able to process what happened in the last 5 years. I mean, and then started something else that touched me really personally and caused me a lot of problems. What happened now, and not only there but here and there, we constantly hear on the news, let me say, scary news. This can happen anytime, and that, and blah blah blah. So this is affecting all of us, and affected also me, and that's why I decided to take my risk to move in a place like this, to be happier, for example, with a lower income. This is another video, because it's a very, very important task, this low income or high income. What do I choose? To be honest, I refused higher income, facing uncertainty, and I prefer to be on a lower income and being more sustainable by myself. I'm not saying I'm a prepper, but I can also see the things going in this direction. I repeat, because what happened in the last 2 years and a half, 3, and I don't want to mention, but you should catch, if you already follow my channel, you should know why I've been touched a lot in the last 3 years, and this situation caused me a lot of problems, a lot. I'm saying with this Italian passion, a lot. And so, from this point of view, I'm on alert, because things went against me. And if things are going against me, I have to put myself in safety. Then, if a situation is not really touching someone personally, they might not feel the danger. But me, for example, I said, okay, let's find a place, a spot in where I can, but this is the feel what a lot of Northern European again are feeling when they are thinking about leaving their countries. A lot of Germans want to leave their countries, a lot of British want to leave their countries, a lot of Dutch, a lot of Danish, a lot of Sweden. Life is not amazing, life is not perfect over there, not anymore, so they are looking for a different type of lifestyle, blah blah blah, and so on. I can go on for hours talking about this topic. But then we see the reverse, that I also touched this topic in my previous video, where we see the Southern European who are going to work in the Northern Europe, and then we see the wealthy Northern European going to the Southern Europe. It's a mess. If I see from this point of view, I say, why the Southern Italians are going there? Okay, they're going for a higher salary, for a better life condition, and then I see the wealthy Northern European living, going to the poorest part of Europe. Okay, they are wealthy, they already have the money, so they can afford. So what's going on? Let's process together. Now, I've just done this random talk. Again, I want to close saying that my forecast is I don't see, even with a crashing house market, I don't see the price dropping here in the small towns. I might see a price dropping in the big cities. If it's gonna happen, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. Hopefully everything stays fantastic as it is. Fantastic, in brackets. And so this is the situation, and to be honest, I made my bet. I bet even with some people very close in the family, with some relatives who say, Antonio, you are crazy to do this type of investment. I say, I think I'm gonna double in the next 5 years. I say, let's talk again. Now I bought in 2024, let's talk again in 2029, and then tell me if I was wrong or if I was right. Only the future will tell. Anyway, if you watch my video up to now, my friends, don't forget to put like, to subscribe, and I'll see you to the next video, my friends. Kisses and hugs, and big hello from Italy, a place to love YouTube channel, Antonio. Bye!